You've seen lions take down prey. You've seen grizzlies wrestle. You've seen silverback gorillas pound their chests. But none of them, not one, holds a candle to this beast. Because during the Cromerian Age, there walked a creature so physically gifted, so freakishly strong, so brutally effective that no modern animal or human could compete. It was faster than a horse, stronger than a bear, more durable than an ox, and more versatile than any predator before or since. This was not a dinosaur. This was not a myth. This was real. And scientists believe it may be the most physically gifted land creature to ever walk the earth. Chapter 1. Welcome to the Cromerian Age. Between 866,000 and 478,000 years ago, Europe entered an interglacial period known as the Cromerian Complex. The glaciers retreated, forests expanded, rivers surged with life. And across this fertile, temperate Europe, evolution threw everything it had into producing some of the most powerful animals that would ever exist. It was during this time that a true apex powerhouse emerged. Not a predator, but a prey species so physically capable it became nearly untouchable. Meet the Steppe Bison, Bison priscus, and its terrifying cousin, the Cromerian Bison. Chapter 2. Meet the Super Bison. Forget the modern bison. This wasn't some grazing cow on steroids. The Cromerian bison stood nearly 7 feet tall at the shoulder, weighed over 2,000 kilograms. That's more than a black rhino, and moved with a speed and explosiveness that made it nearly uncatchable. With massive neck muscles, bone-crushing hooves, and a forward-thrusting horn core, this animal could outrun wolves, outfight lions, and outrun early humans. Its hump wasn't just for show. It was a biological engine housing reinforced vertebrae and some of the largest muscle attachments seen in any land mammal. And unlike modern cattle, its core musculature was far more specialized, allowing it to power through rough terrain, icy slopes, and predator ambushes without slowing down. Chapter 3. Built like a tank, moved like a sprinter. The Steppe and Cromerian Bison had a muscular body structure similar to modern athletes, but scaled up to monstrous proportions. Its forequarters were so overdeveloped that it could ram with nearly a ton of momentum. Its hind legs were spring-loaded, capable of bursts of speed that shocked early hominins trying to hunt them. Its hooves were weapons, wide, heavy, and able to trample predators into paste. Even cave lions, apex predators of their time, approached with caution. Packs of wolves would often back off unless they could isolate the old or weak. And humans? Early Homo heidelbergensis had to resort to ambushes, traps, or sheer desperation because one wrong move and the bison charged. And once it did, almost nothing could stop it. Chapter 4. How do we know? Much of what we know about the Cromerian megafauna comes from fossilized bone beds, cave paintings, and butchering sites across Europe. In places like Boxgrove, England, we find bison bones with clear marks of hunting, but also signs of counter-violence. Massive femurs shattered, rib cages broken outward. These weren't animals that went down easy. They often died fighting. Modern biomechanical reconstructions of bison musculature suggest that, pound for pound, they may have had the strongest neck and shoulder assembly of any land mammal ever recorded. They were capable of generating multiple kilonewtons of impact force with a single forward lunge. That's the kind of power you'd expect from a small truck, not a grazing herbivore. Chapter 5. The Hunter's Struggle. Early humans hunted bison, but it was never fair. To bring one down, you needed coordination, patience, and usually a very high risk of death. Stone tools barely penetrated the hide unless perfectly placed. Spears had to be used at close range. Traps needed to be massive, dug into the earth, or built with sharpened stakes. Even with fire, noise, and numbers, bison could plow through human lines. Injured, yes. Dead, not always. Bison were so valuable as meat, hide, and bone that our ancestors were willing to risk their lives repeatedly just to take one down. That's how critical and dangerous they were. It's no exaggeration to say that prehistoric humans feared these animals, even as they needed them. Chapter 6. More than muscle. Superbrain? It wasn't just the body. The steppe and Cromerian bison had brains to match, not in terms of human-like intelligence, but in instinct. They had near-perfect environmental awareness. Herd members communicated with complex vocalizations. They remembered terrain, predator paths, and safe zones. They had highly organized herding behavior, surrounding the young, defending injured members, and moving as a coordinated unit. They also adjusted migration routes year to year based on environmental pressures, water availability, and predator movements. That level of flexible response is seen in only a few species today. Chapter 7. Compare to modern beasts. Let's talk comparisons. Lions. Powerful jaws and speed, but fragile. When hit, they'd never survive a full-force bison counterattack. Grizzly bears, strong, yes, but a bison outweighed and outpowered them. One headbutt and the bear is airborne. Cape buffalo, ferocious but still smaller and less muscular in the shoulders. Modern bison, quick and powerful, but less aggressive and far lighter. Even rhinos, while formidable, lack the speed and endurance of these Ice Age giants. Few animals have ever combined this much explosive strength with long-range mobility and sheer toughness. Chapter 8. Nature's perfect tank. The steppe bison was one of the few animals that successfully resisted predation across continents. From Ice Age Siberia to Northern Europe, they outran, outfought, and outlived their predators. Its skeleton was so robust that paleontologists often find it preserved better than surrounding species. Its thick skull and frontal boss were natural battering rams. Its spine could withstand forces similar to car crashes and recover. Its endurance was legendary. They could migrate hundreds of miles, fight off attackers, and keep going. They had no horns for show. They were tools, and they knew how to use them. Chapter 9. Bison versus human. Who wins? Let's say you dropped one of these beasts into the modern world. Even with today's weapons, humans would struggle up close. In hand-to-hand terms, we wouldn't stand a chance. A Cromerian bison could bench press a small car, metaphorically speaking. It could run at 35 to 40 kilometers per hour and maintain it for long stretches. It could survive freezing cold, starvation cycles, and direct injury. Every muscle, every tendon, every bone, designed not for style, but survival. And if you took a modern strongman, powerlifter, or elite sprinter, they wouldn't even come close. Chapter 10. The Legacy in Us. The Cromerian bison is long extinct, but its legacy lives on. Some of its genetics survive in the modern European bison, Bison bonasus, and even in limited ways in North American bison. But more than genes, it left a mark on us. Our ancestors worshipped these beasts. They painted them in caves. They built tools specifically to hunt them. In a way, the bison shaped us, forced us to innovate, cooperate, and evolve. The danger of hunting. One pushed the development of group strategy. The reward of taking one down led to feasting, tool-making, and cooperation. Some of the first organized human societies formed around megafauna like these. Chapter 11. Extinction of a Giant. The Cromerian bison eventually disappeared, not in one dramatic extinction event, but in a slow retreat. As the climate changed, forests returned to Europe, reducing the open grasslands that these giants needed. Later, interglacial periods brought human pressure, habitat fragmentation, and competition from more agile herbivores. By the time Homo sapiens took over, the steppe bison was already dwindling. Its final days were likely battles of attrition against shrinking territory, harsher winters, and human ingenuity. Chapter 12. Why it still matters. Why should we care about a bison that lived 500,000 years ago? Because it wasn't just another Ice Age creature. It was a symbol of raw, refined biological power, a lesson in what happens when evolution gets everything right, not for killing, but for surviving. And it shows us what we lost, not just in terms of species, but in ecological awe. The Cromerian bison represents a version of Earth where animals weren't just impressive, they were unstoppable. Conclusion: nature's ultimate athlete. It didn't have claws, it didn't have venom, it didn't need to hunt, but the steppe and Cromerian bison may still be the most physically complete land animal ever. Power, endurance, reflexes, intelligence, all wrapped into one muscular juggernaut. It didn't dominate the food chain by killing everything. It dominated because almost nothing could kill it. Don't forget to subscribe for more prehistoric monsters and forgotten titans. To meet the next contender for history's greatest athlete, click here.